16 picks against the spread. Week 15 is in the books, so for the wins, Luke Kerr-Dineen, Curtis and Steven Ruiz are back with another slate of NFL picks. All odds courtesy of Bovada. Steven, 6'5", 108.98, Luke, 8'3", 99.99.8, Charles, 5'6", 89 113.8. Steven, it's getting a little too close for comfort. Time to pull away. Luke, one more good week can ensure this season wasn't a total wash, a minor miracle considering the chaotic opening few weeks, and that I went 1-11-1 in week 9. Let's do this, Charles, just bet against me. It'll make me feel better that you're winning money off my misery. Steven, yes, that is a monster spread, but the Ravens are playing well on both sides of the ball and I could see them blowing this one out at home. Baltimore. Luke, this Ravens team has been impressive recently, admittedly, but 14 points is a fat spread. I sense a garbage time cover here from the Colts. Charles, the Ravens don't seem good enough to win by 14, despite Joe Flacco's improved play, so I'll take the points. Steven, Brett Hundley was playing well before Aaron Rodgers returned to the lineup, and that's an awfully big line. Give me the points at home. Luke, I expect this Vikings team to make some noise in the playoffs, but even with Aaron Rodgers out, I'm not going to feel good about the Packers losing by more than 9 at home, in the final home game of the season. Charles, the Aaron Rodgers hit revenge game. I'll go with the points because of that, which is a bad reason to do it, but YOLO. Steven, I would not be surprised by a backdoor cover here. The Bills can essentially lock down a playoff spot by winning this one. Still, it's the Patriots. I'll lay the points. Luke, Pats. Next. Charles, still not betting against the Pats even with big spreads. Steven, sure, Brock Osweiler looked like a real quarterback last week, but I don't expect him to do it in back-to-back weeks. Washington. Luke, 3.5 points isn't anywhere near enough points to tempt me into this dreadful Broncos team on the road. Charles, I haven't loved the results of betting on the Skins this season, they're just so mediocre. But here's a good spot to do it with a home game. Steven, the Falcons were lucky to beat New Orleans 2 weeks ago. It's not happening again. Alvin Kamara's presence will allow the Saints to pull away late. Luke, I'll take the points here. I know the Falcons aren't as good on the road, and I know they're on a short week, but the Saints have been a bit spotty recently. Charles, a 5.5 spread, even for a team like the Saints, just seems too large for a divisional rematch that was a 3-point game the last time they met. Taking the points. Steven, this seems like the Browns' last chance to win, and they'll know that going in. I've lost so many games picking Cleveland against my better judgment. What's one more loss? Browns. Luke, why bother picking the Browns at this point? Charles, the Bears have surprised me in recent weeks. I think Mitchell Trubisky is the real deal, and so I'm fine giving all 6.5 of those points. Steven, this is the kind of game the Lions always seem to lose. Not this time. Not against Andy Dalton. Luke, for some reason, I want to find a reason to take the Bengals here, but they've offered precious little in recent weeks. I just can't justify it. Charles, the Lions smell a playoff spot, so they'll beat up on a hot mess of a Bengals team. Steven, yeah, I'm not trusting the Chargers to cover a spread that big on the road against a good Jets defense. Luke, the Jets are a scrappy team. Yes, they've been worse under center in recent week, but 7 points at home is a lot to give against a streaky Chargers team. Charles, the Chargers coming east is a factor. They'll win, but by less than a touchdown. Steven, the Chiefs seem to have figured out the problems that plagued them in the middle of the season, but this Dolphins team always seems to show up in these games where they're getting a lot of points. Miami. Luke, sure, I'll take the bait here. Give me the points. Charles, the Chiefs' defense isn't good enough to contain Kenyon Drake, hear that, fantasy owners? I'll take the points. Steven, The Panthers are rolling, and though I'm a little scared off by a double-digit line, I expect that to continue going into the playoffs, where the Panthers are a legit threat. Luke: Nah, not going to take the bait here. Give me Carolina. Charles: The Bucs are a disaster. I love what I've seen out of the Panthers lately, so I'll back Cam Newton. Steven: The Titans aren't very good. They certainly aren't as good as their record suggests. Give me the Rams. Luke: The Rams are a good football team. The Titans tend to keep games close, though. I think they lose but cover. Charles: The Rams just keep covering spreads. I know Luke is right that the Titans keep things close, 5 games since the bye within 5 points or fewer, but I'm a believer in Los Angeles. Steven: I think we see Jimmy Garoppolo crash down to earth going up against the Jags secondary. Jags cover. Luke: I said a few weeks ago that I'm done doubting the Jags, but I actually like the 49ers in this spot. Nearly 5 points at home for a team that has shown some interesting stuff in recent weeks. Charles: Jimmy G has dismantled the Texans and Titans secondaries. That's not exactly tough. The Jags are much more challenging, so I'll take them on the road. Steven: The Seahawks are physically and mentally broken at this point. Their run defense is a mess, which is bad news considering who the Cowboys are getting back this week. Dallas wins by 10. Luke: I get that the Seahawks are in crisis, but I dunno. That was the Cowboys not too long ago. It's a trap line, but I'm willing to fall into it because I'm not convinced. Points. Charles: No idea what to do here. Zeke will be back, but the Hawks still have a shot at a playoff spot. Taking the points. Steven: This one's a toss-up, so I'll just go with the home team. Cardinals. Luke: A toss-up for me, but I'll go with Arizona because the Giants have disappointed me at every turn this season. Charles: The Cards D will keep the Giants in check. Steven: This seems like one of those Steelers games that are inexplicably close. Give me the points. Luke: I'll take the points. The Steelers are a very good team, but they have a weird result in them. They'll win but won't cover. Charles: Give me the Steelers. They'll handle the Texans with ease. Steven: I'm done with the Raiders, and, honestly, I think they're done with this season. Eagles still have something to play for and have been blowing teams out at home. Luke: Eagles turn on the style in their final home regular season game. Charles: The Nick Foles experience rolls on. This seems like an easy one to pick. More: Kirk Herbstreit defends himself after he's connected to Ohio State losing 2 recruits. Ryan Russell opened up on his abrupt exit from ESPN Radio. Mike Gluck's theory for why Tom Brady's trainer was reportedly banned by the Patriots. How LaVar Ball's new basketball league could actually end up being a good thing. LaVar Ball explains the utterly ridiculous inspiration behind his league's new Unzo logo.